Hello everyone, it's Vaibhav here. I welcome all of you to today's session of JForex indicators. We will be considering another interesting indicator, and as we are dealing with the series involving moving averages, this time also we are going to consider another interesting moving average, and the name is triple exponential moving average. From the name itself, you can make a guess that it is going to be the exponential moving average of the exponential moving average of the exponential moving average. And this I am saying because we have to do the calculation thrice to get this value of the triple exponential moving average, and this is being done simply to reduce the lag and smooth out the resulting trend. Whenever there is a price fluctuation in the underlying instrument, we will have a clarity of the underlying instrument's trend, as well as there is going to be not much of a lag in terms of the reaction of the triple exponential moving average in respect of the price move. So let's consider the uses as well as the functionality of these indicators. So for that, we head to the JForex platform, which has been developed by the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the Euro USD chart plotted on the hourly time frame, and for last couple of days, it has been all downhill journey for the Euro USD, and we have seen the Euro USD losing close to 300 or even more than 300 pips in this week itself. So let us now plot this indicator, the triple exponential moving average. So for that, we have to click on this function symbol, and there the triple exponential moving average option should appear. It's taking a bit time, so now I will do a quick search. Okay, why the response rate is so slow, I don't know, but it's working. So okay, we search for triple exponential moving average, and there are two indicators listed here, but this is a different version, so we will consider it in due course of time. This time around we are working with this TEMA, triple exponential moving average. T3 is another moving average for which I will be devoting another session. So this is the Euro USD chart, and now I will zoom in a bit as we have the values now on the in the larger font. Okay, and oops, it is saying not responding, so I will give it some more time. Okay, we are back to the business. Let's zoom in a bit, and here I have plotted the TEMA, the triple exponential moving average, for the candle period of 30. So we have these TMA values derived using last 30 hours of price data, and from that we can guess, or we can interpret, not guess, that the underlying instrument's trend has been downward, and it's more appropriate to keep looking for shorting opportunities instead of going for any buy trade. And if there is significant deviation from the average price, then you can also count on some retracement to happen, but the larger trend remains bearish. So it is more advisable using these indicator that we try to go for short sale trades whenever possible, whenever there is some correction and do consolidation in the chosen instrument. In this case, it is Euro USD. So if we consider the properties of this indicator, we have to first find the normal EMA, and whatever is the candle period of that EMA. Then we take the EMA of the EMA. So first we arrive at the EMA for given candle period, and then we again take the EMA of that EMA, and then we will have the double exponential moving average. So there are two values now. We have two values. First is the EMA, second is double exponential moving average, and then we have the third, which is going to be the exponential moving average of the DEMA, double exponential moving average. So that will be our triple exponential moving average, but that's not how it is calculated. Then first we have to multiply by 3 to the first exponential moving average, and then we again multiply by 3 to the double exponential moving average, and we do the same with the third one, the EMA of the DEMA. And then we first add the first two values, the value involving the simple EMA plus we do the thrice of DEMA. So we add both these values and then we deduct the thrice of EMA of the DEMA. So then whatever is the result, that is the resultant TEMA. So it's a bit complex, and I hope I got my calculation wrong. But of course, to again recheck it, you can do a bit of googling, and or you can search using any search engine, and you will get the formula how it is calculated. This session is more dedicated to the functional aspects of this indicator and how we can take advantage of this indicator on this platform of the Dukascopy Bank SA. So for that, I will giving you a couple of examples of how to customize this indicator to arrive at some interesting combinations which we then can use to look for the trading opportunity. And the classical interpretation is, of course, that we look for the direction of the TMA. If the TMA is in decline, then it is advisable to look for short selling opportunity. But then the question arises, where exactly should we short? So that is also always a tricky question because there are no ideal conditions or ideal combinations which are going to work all the time. So there is always going to be a statistical game or probability. So we have to look for the ways in which we will have higher probability. So for that we have to make observations, and we have to look for our natural tendencies where we can adapt to the situation. So depending on all those factors, we arrive at a combination which we feel is likely to work for us. So coming to this point of where to look for shorting opportunity, I think we should be looking at a larger time frame of 50. Value is rounded off 2 days of moving average. So 48, we get 48 hours of data, which is going to be 2 days worth of data for the underlying instrument. And 50 you can do to make it look simpler. And here I feel whenever we have the move in a unidirectional manner, there the combination to go for short selling opportunity can be considered this way. When we have the downward momentum in underlying instrument, then we waited for the stabilization to happen, the consolidation to happen, and whenever we have the underlying instrument consolidating closer to these TMA values, and after that, if there is fresh decline initiated, then I think that can be used as a new opportunity to initiate the new trade. And similar thing, if we want to go for a buy trade, all we have to do is invert the combination. So we wait for some correction to happen, and then whenever consolidation happens on the lower side, provided the TMA values are still on the rise, we look to initiate the buy trade whenever after consolidation the rise starts to appear in the underlying instrument. So that's one way to interpret these TMA values and look for the trading opportunities there. Another way is, of course, the crossover formation, and one more, which is I think you might be even familiar, is to look for the regression or deviation and regression, where we look for the underlying instrument to deviate significantly from the average values, and whenever it stabilizes in underlying under overbought or oversold situation, after that we can count on the retracement to take place. So that way also, we can look to profit from the underlying instrument's volatility. So, in that aspect, also, we can rely on the TME values to provide us some guidance to go for the trading opportunities. Now, if we have to go for a crossover combination, or even we can take the EMA of another indicator. So, for that, I will add one more indicator. Let's say take the case of EMA, simple EMA, as we are looking at the EMA of the EMA of the EMA. So I will add EMA of 30. No 30. I will take the EMA of the same period, which is 50. And here we use the close price. All right. There is open price. I will use close price. So you can see the difference between these EMA and the TEMA. TEMA responds quite closely to the price action data. It has a very low lag, very less lag compared to the normal EMA, and that's because we get the smoothing effect and also the less lag because of the tripling of this calculation where more weightage is given to the recent price data. So because of that, the responsiveness of the EMA is a lot higher compared to the normal EMA. Now I have taken this EMA of 50 and let us look for some editing option. And what we can do, we can even take the TEMA of these already plotted EMA. So now it is tracking more closely to this EMA pricing, and that's because the pricing data is not dependent on these closing values of the candlesticks, but it is a triple exponential moving average of this EMA. So we have more smoothing compared to the original EMA, but the responsiveness is now a lot less as the underlying instrument is feeding the data, the input data via this EMA. So that has changed this plotting. Now let us get it back to the normal where we use the price action data to make it more responsive. Price, there are these options of working with the close price, or if you want, you can change it to the open price, high price, low price. And as I have explained to you the pricing mechanism in earlier sessions also. So if you have seen those sessions, you might be well aware. Otherwise, I will explain again. So we take these different applied prices and we get the difference being in terms of plotting of these EMA. We have these fluctuations. Pay attention to this plotting of the EMA, sorry, the TEMA. Low price, it has now shifted on the lower side. Median price, the typical price, and when you want to give more weightage to the closing price, you can take the weighted close price. So there will be always the difference because of these different applied prices. So we now use median price as our applied price this time around, and I will remove these EMA which I had added to give you an example of the differentiation between these TEMA and the normal EMA. Okay, I hope you got the point. Now coming to the editing of this TMA, we can opt for various options. If you want to make it more stylish, there are these color combinations provided to us. So we can choose different colors for trend up, trend down. Then we have the option of going with different styles. The width and the transparency can also be changed. So all these options are there. Even the shift value can be changed. If you want the TMA to be calculated for the current price, current candle's closing price, or whichever applied price you are going with, you can do that. And if you want it to be calculated for prior data, all you have to do is change the shift value and it will work just fine. So if you want to work with a different color combination for downtrend different, uptrend different, all you have to do is opt for this various options. You can increase the width. We have these options, transparency to make things interesting. Okay, shift value. So you will see as I am changing the shift value, the plotting is changing as we go with a look back period of 10. You can see the combination of these TMA has shifted forward. So we are looking at this value for the current candle, and this TMA value was for last 10 period back. So this is the data, the output value. If we have to go back in time by 10 hours, then we can use this function of shift the look back period. Okay, so I will again edit and get the shift value to 0. So we will have the current values. Then levels, there are no options provided to us here. Then there are some advanced options. And whenever you want the calculation to be done on new candle, then you have to tick this. Otherwise, you just leave this box unticked, unchecked, and highlight the time period zone. If you want the particular time period zone to be highlighted, you have to check the box. Okay, and then when you go to the that particular period, it will be highlighted, as you can observe from the chart. So these things make it easier for us to identify the values when we are looking at the chart manually, and if we want the data for any particular candle period, then we just have to go to that, and it will be easier to spot as well because of this feature of highlighting the indicator for that candle period. Okay, and let us see what more we got. Calculate from custom data. The calculation can also be done for the custom data. The instrument, you can opt for the chart, or you can even take any particular instrument. So these options are here, and you can opt for Euro USD or use from the chart. Then we have the candle period for this chart. We can use the candle period from the chart, or if you want it to be fixed for your chosen candle period, then you can do that as well. Now that I have opted for the calculation to be done on the 15-minute, I will have let me check where the Euro USD's 15-minute TMA gone. Okay, 15-minute TMA is here, and it is not showing on the hourly candle period. I think that is because all right, so we have to go with these all the options. Otherwise, if you want the plotting to be done whenever the chart changes, whenever the candle period for the chart changes, you simply leave the option here and use it from the chart side. You can ask for ask side or the bid side. So these two options are also there. Then there is this option offshore indicator on all candle periods. So whatever is the candle period, the plotting will be done. But if you opt for any particular candle period, and in that case, the plotting will be done for the TEMA only on that period. Otherwise, if you change the time frame of the chart, no plotting will be done. So that's the difference here. And the base period can also be chosen. Here we have these three options. So if you opt for all these options, there will be some difference. So that's how these functions are there for figuring out or for helping us out for finding the profitable trading opportunities in the financial markets. And this indicator works well on almost all the instruments. So we have these options, various instruments provided to us for trading purposes, and we can plot it for all these instruments, and it gives us up-to-date data. There is not much of a lag in terms of the price moves and the TMAs follow up. So because of that, it's a very useful indicator, and also there is smoothing. So we will be to a certain extent able to avoid the zigzag moves. So that is also a helpful property for this indicator. So that's it from my side for today's session, guys. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can join in for the chat there. For we are trying out these indicators and various other options. The JForex platform is a world-class trading platform for testing various strategies and figuring out the trading combinations. So all these useful links have been provided in the bio. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time around. Till then, goodbye.